Question 1027. Do you have a bucket list? That is, a list of all the different types of buckets that you hope to own before you die. How many buckets do you have so far?
There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. Sorry. I don't know why I went now.
B!
I do not necessarily have a list of buckets that I would like to own. I pretty much own all the buckets I need anyways, so I don't have a list of buckets to purchase.
Kevin says, I have an insufficient number of buckets.
I've had a few KFC barking buckets.
Were they on your original bucket list?
They were, but I think I've maybe had too many of them, really.
Seraph says, I have a lot of buckets. I use them for planting my peppers.
It's a good bucket use.
I don't have a bucket list, but I'm now considering making a bucket list. But the thing is, like, I'm trying to figure out. Right. But, like,
does your bucket list pale in comparison?
Woo!
I need to go smoke more weed.
Fuck it, I'm leaving.
Oh, okay. Ilya wants to point out from the previous question, I would like to remind everyone that the definition of masturbate is to touch or rub oneself, nothing about toys doing it for you.
Fair.
I guess. Totally ban it then. Oh, I already said that.
Sammy says, it's Bouquet Dave, the lady of the house speaking. Ilya says, yes, I have a bucket list. Do you have all the buckets on the list? Hanging with John Wild says, fuck the bucket question. Command says,
I think those buckets that have that are on wheels and they have that big stick pinchy thing that rings out the mop.
Yeah.
I think those are pretty cool. I don't have one of those. I'd like
you
one.
You don't have one of those. So that's on your list.
It's called a mop bucket.
But it's got to have a specific thing. He says here, Harmonica Man says, I have a few different buckets that satisfy my needs. Rainbug says that was the best pun ever.
Thank you.
Brian Griffin says, so we can ban masturbation and I can slam my pecker in the door jamb. Sure.
I mean,
wow, right.
You first.
Masochism at its finest.
Yandia says, I have one thing, to meet a Japanese guy before I die. That doesn't seem very hard. Ilya says, buckets, visit Italy, visit Ireland, swim with sharks. Spooky says, I'm okay for buckets. My favourite is an old red metal fire bucket. Sammy says, maybe a bucket that's light like a big fleshlight. I might be interested in such a bucket. You can have a bucket, fill it with sand and put a hole in it. Quentin, are you still here? No. Never Again says, and this is why I wear headset.
I'm still here.
You froze up. Headsets when listening to the show.
I'm still here.
Keeps Lucky from wanting to play with Dave's dog. That was Dave's dog, right? No, that was not my dog. Whose dog was that?
That was my dog. I'm sorry. My dogs think that if I move my foot, they have to bark. So.
Yeah, makes sense. Shh. Hanging with John Wild says, I'm in hospital. I have a bath bucket. Is that not the bucket that you want more than anything else right now? Brian says, I'm lost now. Yep, no need for Viagra. It swells to phenomenal sizes too. All the buckets.
You slam
Jenny.
it in the door. That's
You've
what
done that.
out.
Kitty.
I
have all your.
I do not have a bucket list, and I have one bucket. That's all I need. So my like I said, my list pales in comparison.
Never Again says, I could use one more bucket, a pooper scooper. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.